Hi everyone, and welcome to part 3. So let's continue. The fourth and final part of the VHS video will be out tomorrow.
And when you've done all your firework explosions, just leave them to dry. And when they've dried, just take off all of those tea bags, the soggy tea bags, and the cotton wool balls. And when it's all dry, you'll have something that looks like this. Look at that. There's one that I've done that's dried, and all that tissue paper's gone rock solid there. Good effect. And then just take some glue and just streak on some trails of glue, just shooting out from the back of your firework explosions. Do them crisscrossing across the sky like fireworks do, just shooting out like that. And then take some glitter and sprinkle the glitter into the glue and just pause while the glue soaks into the glitter and the glitter sticks. And then just shake off the excess glitter. There, like that. And there is your firework display. And to really finish it off, just cut out a silhouette of some buildings, a sort of skyline, out of black paper, and just glue that to the bottom. And then you can, if you want to, just take some chalk and just put some highlights on the top of those buildings where the fireworks have really...
I don't know why the door is parking.
The rooftop, see, like that? And just put a couple of windows in there, so it really does look like buildings at night. And there it is. Try it yourself, your own personal firework display. And now for a classic art attack with paint, but don't laugh at the hairstyle.
Moving paint.
Now, you know how I like sloshing colour around? Well, I've discovered some great ways of making some very colourful pictures by moving paint. Just squeeze some ready-mix poster paint into a dollop that's just a bit bigger than a 2p piece. And then take another colour and just squeeze a ring like that around the first colour. And then take a third colour and squeeze another ring just on the outside of that. And then take another piece of paper, the same size as your first piece, only it can be a different colour, and carefully line it up and lay it on the top like that. Now, if you take your finger, you can just feel the paint squidging around in between those two pieces of paper. Then lay your finger flat on the top piece and just move the paint inside the two pieces of paper. Just squeeze it along, and you can actually feel it squidging under your fingers. Just move it all the way round, like that, in a sort of star shape. Just keep it moving. And then, when you peel back the top piece, if you've used two different coloured pieces of paper, you get two very different pictures. Another way to move paint even further is to mix it with a little bit of water. Now, again, I've got some ready-mixed poster paint here, and I've mixed it with just a little bit of water, but it's a case of experimenting to get the right
for you
consistency.
Guys.
And just pour out some blobs of the mixture onto some card or stiff paper, and make the blobs roughly about 6 centimetres apart.
I think he's great, cool head style.
And this in itself is great fun.
From the
onto the card there. So
let me know on
just move those to one side.
social media if you like his
grab hold of the
hairstyle
card and move some paint. And just before it hits the bottom, move it to the side, and again, over to the other side. And you just sort of judge when you want to turn the card. And there you have a fantastic motion picture. Lay it down flat to dry, and there it is.
Perfect.
Try it yourself, move some paint, and give yourself an art attack. One of the things I've discovered about paint while I've been doing Art Attack is that you can put it onto paper using just about anything. And one of the simplest of all is cardboard. If you just cut out a piece of cardboard, you can just use it to slop paint on, like that, and you can move it around into shapes like that, and you can use it to do straight lines on the edge like that, and you can even create different effects. Watch this twist effect. There we go. Place it there and give it a spin one way and the other way, and there you get this sort of crazy twist. And if you cut it into various shapes, you can even create patterns. Watch this. There we go. And it's great fun to do. And believe it or not, as well as cardboard, I've also used all of these things to paint with. They all create different effects, and they're all brilliant fun to do.
Okay, so sponge guy.
Take a piece of thick paper or thin card and just draw some very simple cloud shapes onto the card. Now, cereal box card is absolutely perfect for this. And the idea is to draw very simple cloud shapes like that, and then cut them out so you have some cardboard cloud shapes, and you just place them onto a piece of white drawing paper like that, and then take an old piece of sponge or even a scrunched up ball of tissue paper and dip that into some watered down paint or ink. Now, you can use ink for this, but I've got some watered down paint here. Put lots of water into your paint or ink, make it nice and runny, and then carefully holding the clouds in place with your finger, dab your sponge around those card clouds onto the paper like that, just going all the way around your card. And you can use nice bright blues for this, nice bright sky blues, or you could even use pinks or reds or oranges or even purples, any of those colours that you get in the sky at the end of the day. You know, those fantastic sunset colours.
Oh.
Just make sure your card stays in place. And when you've gone around all your card clouds, just very carefully remove the card from the paper. One,
by one.
two there. You can do as many as you like. And another one there. And there you have a cloudy sky effect. And here's a good idea. If you just get your finger and just smudge some of these clouds around the edges to create a nice fluffy cloud effect like that. And do the same on all of the clouds. And then leave them to dry. And when they're dry, they're really versatile because you can use them as a background to lots of different things. Now, I've done quite a big one here with lots of clouds on it. And look what I've done here. I've drawn a skyline onto a little piece of card, and I've cut it out and folded it, and you get this fantastic 3D effect along the edges. And look at that. Look at that cloudy sky there. That works brilliantly, doesn't it? Or what about this? You can use these cloudy skies for cartoons, and they look really good because they're bright blue, and there's a cartoon aeroplane. Or you could even do your cloudy sky at night or just as the sun is going down. Look at those rich reds and oranges. And you could even cut out some magazine photos to create a picture like that. Brilliant, isn't it? Try yourself a sponge cloudy sky.
Okay, nice and full.
People often ask me, what's the weirdest thing I've ever painted with? Well, I'm not going to tell you. I'll show you in a minute. But have you seen a painting where the paint seems amazingly thick? Well, chances are it was done with one of these. It's called a palette knife. And the way artists use these is they scoop up big dollops of paint like that and just smear it onto the picture. Now, you get these palette knives from posh art shops, and the problem is they can be quite expensive. So I use one of these, a plastic picnic knife. You get these in cheap sets of 3, and you get a spoon and a fork thrown in for free. And the great thing is you can use these as well and get some great effects. Now, you use the knife just like an ordinary artist's palette knife. Scoop up the paint like that and smear it on nice and thickly. And it's a good idea to just sketch in part of your picture before you do it, just to give you a guide as to where to put that paint. And this is great fun to do this, just slurping up all that blobby paint, look at that, and smearing it on nice and thick. Don't work it too much. And it's a good idea to have some tissues handy so you can every now and then just wipe off the knife to get another colour. And this is a very important bit. Watch this. Just a bit of highlight along the edge. But again, don't work it too much. Now for the spoon. The great thing about the spoon is you can scoop up great big dollops of colour and just flop it onto your picture. Look at that. Just spread it around like that. Any idea what it is yet? And the fork you can use to just scratch in to the paint. Look at that, just scratching into that paint there. Just spread it out by scratching in. Now a little bit of darker green just to give it some shadow in there. And just wipe that off. And now the knife again. And here's a good technique. If you just dip the knife in on its edge, like that, and just pick up the paint, you can get some nice straight lines. Just place it on there, on the picture, and just rock the knife backwards and forwards. You get some nice straight lines out there. See those? And you can experiment yourself with a knife, fork and spoon and get different effects. Just some reflection there. Just spread that on. And blob on some flowers. Again, don't overwork it.
Here you guys, it's powerful.